Okay, how's everybody doing out there? Something I was looked up on YouTube, and they don't have any of these shotguns out there for education, and nobody posted anything on this particular shotgun. So I guess I'll be the first. This is an interesting shotgun. It was made around 1840s, maybe up to the 1860s. I'm going more in the 1840s, maybe early 1850s. I'm not quite sure the exact date on it. It is a black powder. It's a percussion. As you can see, it has the ramrod here. It is a double barrel with dual hammers. And you can see the checkering is still really nice. Beautiful, beautiful wood, even though it has a lot of nicks and little imperfections. And that's what makes it really interesting, is when you see all this stuff and you're talking at least 150 to 170-year-old shotgun. Excuse me. And it's just unbelievable character when you see all this and what this shotgun has been through. So let me give you some history about it. I mean, I'm not too educated on it, but I did read up a lot on it, that whatever's out there. And this is called a Perkins. It's an actual Perkins made in Britain. It's an English shotgun. So it's actually a nicer one. Pretty well built. I mean, look at it. It's still in decent condition. And the stamping is right on the barrel here. See if I can focus it in. There you go. So it's Perkins London Twist. So you can still, it's eligible, the stamping, you can still read it. It does have a wedge to take it apart. So if you want to take this stock off, or the barrel, I'm sorry, the barrel, you'd have to remove this wedge, which is still easily removed. I just have to get a screwdriver and it pulls right out. And you just pull this wedge out. As soon as you pull the wedge out, you lift the barrels up this way, and as you're lifting up this way, there's two pieces of steel that go into like a little square grooves, and it just comes right out. The hammers are in excellent condition. No cracks, no pieces missing. A lot of these black powder in time would have little chips missing in the front here. But the only thing with this one is you could see there's a little piece of steel missing right here on the top rib. Now, I would not shoot this. I mean, I guess if I had it, like if I needed it as emergency, I would probably shoot it. But between, as you can see, the top rib, I wouldn't trust this right here, because the old solder that holds these barrels together, they're pretty delicate, and they have a tendency, a lot of them, of coming apart. And this particular one, the top rib is good. I checked it, but again, I won't trust it. It's actually real secure into the barrels here with the solder. But what I noticed is the bottom rib. Oh, let me take the ramrod out for you. The ramrod just slides right out. So I think it's original. I mean, I might be wrong, but it looks original to me, unless it was made years and years ago. I don't know. Could be. But so here's the underbarrel, and as you can see if I can get a little bit better focused. See how that moves up. So the bottom rib is actually loose. So you can see here with the discoloration of the solder. See how that moves right there. Now, I checked it, and it's probably loose to about here. I think this is still good in here. I took a screwdriver and tried to lift it up, and it looks like it's pretty secure. So to resolder this would be a big job, and to sit there, and if you want to spend the money into it, to have this to shooter or a shooter again, I guess you would do it. But is it worth it? No, not really. But if you know, to keep it together, what I would use is 2-part steel plumber's putty. You know, you could get that, the marine base one. Mix it up in your hands because it's a 2-part, like a, looks like kind of like putty. And put it all down in here to where it, make sure you know where it ends. And then just take your vise and just vise it up a couple places. Put a piece of wood on here and vise it here and vise it here. Clamp it together. And let it sit overnight. And this thing won't come off again. You know, just clean it out with a screwdriver. Kind of get a little bit of sandpaper under there. Blow it out with your blower. Just to clean it up so the adhesive would stick to it. But that's about it. I think it's a 10 or 11 gauge. When I took the barrel off, they do have number 11 on each barrel. So I think it's possible 11 gauge. Sometimes you subtract one and it could be a 10 gauge. So it's either a 10 or 11 gauge. Beautiful side locks. You know, they still see the engraving on it, including the hammer. You know, the trigger guard, of course, you could see some engraving. Doesn't look like it's been butchered or anything or redone. Everything looks all original, which I liked about it. There is a slight crack on each side of the trigger guard. One there and one there. But, you know, I don't think this shotgun's been used a lot. Because as you can see, the checkering is still nice. If it was used a lot, this would be worn because, you know, people hold it there all the time. And you really won't see too much checkering. But what's really cool about this is all these little imperfections, like I said in the beginning of the video. Of course, it has like a metal shield, implant shield, whatever you call it. I mean, look at the grain. You could lightly clean this up. You don't want to do too much to it at all because you want to keep it original. And just put a nice little coat of semi-transparent or some type of oil, you know, wood oil on it, and just to clean it up a little bit. But again, you don't want to take it off the patina or anything. The hammers are really tight, and it's a double click. So if you right here, see, there's your 1 click, and there's your 2 clicks. So 1 click, 2 clicks, double trigger. Okay, I'm not gonna fire it, but there's your firing hole pins for your percussion cap right there. I was told when I purchased this quite a while ago that the person that had it did shoot it, and he shot it many times. He said, well, not a lot, but he said quite a few times, and but then it was stored away. And he didn't do anything to it. He didn't even put oil on it or anything. So it was stored in his garage or somewhere. And, you know, just left it alone. And that was it. So there you go. You can see the barrel has some great patina, just like the locks. I guess it's not really surface rust, but you know these old-time shotguns. You know, some of these Perkins, there's not too many out there, but they have the word Perkins, the name, imprinted on the lock itself, but this one doesn't. Now, when I check the proof marks under the barrel here, there's actual proof marks when you take the barrel off. It is definitely a British. It's not a Belgium or anything like that. There's no Belgian marks on it. And so I'm assuming it was made in London. A lot of these older shotguns were made in London and then sold through Birmingham, you know, and then Belgium, whatever, and sometimes you get the lower grade, more so called the hardware guns at the time, the cheap hardware guns. But this one is a little bit better quality because this is a pure British one. There's no Belgium made parts on this, I don't think. And like I said, it's stamped on the barrel here of London. But it's nice. But like I said, I haven't seen anything on YouTube with the Perkins double barrel black powder shotgun. You know. So there you go. And again, I think this is original ramrod, but if not, it could be a, made by somebody years ago. And it just slides back underneath the forearm there, and that's it. Has one ring holder right here. So maybe one day I'll take some 2-part steel and clean that up a little bit, and just get that bottom rib secure back in place. Alright, hope you liked this video. I love old shotguns, as you know. I'm addicted to them. If you want any questions or anything, I mean, just let me know. I'll be glad to try to at least help you out a little bit, as much as I can. But if you like this video, just please like, subscribe, and I'll be showing a few more others. Alright, thanks now. Stay safe.